Coming off the international break, week 4 of the Barclays Premier League was goals aplenty. Just so many games that were high scoring. Just a delightful weekend of football all around. The action got kicked off on Saturday as the Manchester Derby took place at Old Trafford with a result that I certainly expected. Manchester City came out on top with a 2-0 win. All three goals were scored in the first half. Kevin De Bruyne opened things up in the 15th minute. He's off to a great start so far this season. And Kelechi Iheanacho, I talked about him earlier. He's going to become a phenomenal footballer. And if he keeps this up, he might give Sergio Aguero serious competition for his place once he gets fit. So Iheanacho, scored an opportunistic rebound goal. And then, as someone who does not support Manchester United, to put it lightly, is disheartening in a sense, but certainly encouraging for Manchester United fans to see Zlatan Ibrahimovic get off to such a great start. I'm pretty sure he is yet to go a game without scoring. He is off to a flying start for the Red Devils, so certainly what Jose Mourinho is hoping to see out of the Swedish striker, who is aging very gracefully. Like he said, he feels like he's aging like a fine wine, and his playing reflects that sentiment. Now, Crystal Palace, a team that has been struggling early on this season, picked up a big 3 points on the road at Riverside Stadium against newly promoted Middlesbrough, a 2-1 victory, and they opened up the scoring with a goal from new signing Christian Benteke. He is off the mark for Crystal Palace, as that is his first goal. After coming in from Liverpool, Daniel Ayala of Middlesbrough equalized in the 38th minute, while early in the second half, Wilfried Zaha, the former Manchester United man, bagged what proved to be the winner in the 47th minute. So, draws were not too common over this weekend. One draw was Burnley against Hull City at the Turf Moor. And, in that game, Stephen Defour scored in the 72nd minute. But, real drama at the Turf Moor. Exciting scenes at the end, really, just absolute scenes, as Robert Snodgrass scored an incredible free kick goal in stoppage time to rescue a point for the Tigers. So, the Tigers getting points in all different fashions this season. They're one of my sleepers in this Premier League season. I like them a lot. Arsenal, in truth, the big clubs tend to pull out, big results like these 3 points just out of their butts, just deep out of nowhere. They were very, very lucky to pull off a 2-1 win over Southampton after Santi Cazorla scored a penalty kick for the match winner. I believe it was the final kick of the game. It was in the 4th minute of stoppage time. The Emirates, of course, erupted once he bagged the winner there. And Laurent Koscielny scored a goal for the Gooners in the 29th minute. And Southampton's goal actually came as an own goal off of Arsenal's goalkeeper, Petr Cech, who, interestingly enough, did not start today in Arsenal's Champions League match against PSG. Ospina started in what was a 1-1 draw against PSG. But Tottenham Hotspur, they won, and won bigger than any other club on the weekend. They just dominated Stoke City from start to finish, pretty much with a 4-0 victory. Son Heung-min is not a first-choice selection of Mauricio Pochettino's by any means, but man, did he reward Pochettino's selection of him. He scored 2 goals, including a really nice one-touch goal inside the box that gave Tottenham the 1-0 lead. He scored the first 2 goals for Spurs at the Britannia Stadium, no less. Meanwhile, Dele Alli, who some feel has actually been kind of struggling this year early on after just exploding onto the scene last year, he scored the 3rd goal for Spurs, and Harry Kane finally got off the mark. It took him 4 games to get his first goal, but now he is on the score sheet for Spurs this year and probably going to start brimming with confidence. Now, Watford and West Ham, from a neutral's point of view, this was probably the best game to watch on the weekend because it was a goal fest. West Ham opened up an early 2-0 lead in the first half off of, you guessed it, Michail Antonio scoring both of the first two goals for the Hammers at the Olympic Stadium. And Antonio has actually scored 3 goals already with his head so far in the Premier League season. So I'm sure he is a fantasy goldmine for all you fantasy EPL players out there. But the real story here is the incredible comeback that Watford orchestrated on the road. Odion Ighalo got it started by scoring the 41st minute. And, Ighalo is certainly one of the more underrated strikers in the Premier League. His first year in the Premier League last year, he hit the double-digit goal tally. And, there are rumors of him moving on to a big club, but he has stayed and is, of course, doing very well so far. Troy Deeney, in my opinion, the goal of the weekend, he scored an outrageous chip goal. It was a chip golazo. I call it a chipasso. From a very acute angle. He equalized in stoppage time of the first half. And in the second half, just a wonderful, powerful strike from Etienne Capoue. He never scored during his time at Tottenham. And now, 4 games into the season, he already has 3 goals. So what a wonderful start for Capoue at Watford. Very nice to see him adapting absolutely beautifully. And Jose Holebas kind of put, sealed it in a sense. It was in the 63rd minute, but, Watford held on. But Holebas scored a very nice goal himself. It was a game of beautiful goals. Also, don't want to leave out the fact that on the second goal that West Ham scored, Dimitri Payet played an outrageously beautiful Rabona pass that Michail Antonio headed in. So Payet, if he's not world-class yet, he's right on the cusp of it, which is not something you say very often about West Ham players. In terms of the team that won 1-0 on the weekend, that would be AFC Bournemouth. Bournemouth picked up 3 points courtesy of, if you want to talk about outrageous goals, this was a weekend filled with outrageous goals. One of the top goals of the weekend was Callum Wilson's cheeky back heel goal in the 79th minute. He missed great chances earlier in the game, but he capitalized when his team needed to the most late on. So the last game of Saturday was at Anfield. Liverpool's first game at Anfield in over 4 months. They recently finished construction of the new main stand, which added over 8,000 seats to an already electric atmosphere that is the Anfield football ground. Roberto Firmino scored off of a very nice pass from James Milner that was helped created by a very intelligent and clever run from Daniel Sturridge to kind of split Robert Huth and Wes Morgan. It split their attention and really opened up a lot of space for Firmino to tuck it away and give Kasper Schmeichel no chance at stopping it. Sadio Mane has been an absolute revelation for Liverpool. And Mane scored off of a brilliant back heel assist from Sturridge. And Sadio Mane, what else can you say about what he's done? His pace, his skill, the end product, I've talked about it earlier. He's just a phenomenal player. Certainly money well spent, and in my opinion, the buy of the summer so far. Now, Lucas Leiva made a howler of an error, passing it to Jamie Vardy, essentially assisting him as Vardy scored on what was more or less an open goal. That kind of put Liverpool on edge heading into the second half, but that edge was certainly relieved for the most part when Adam Lallana belted a beautiful screamer of a goal in the 56th minute. And then the victory was capped off by Roberto Firmino bagging his brace in the 89th minute off of an assist from Mane. So, Liverpool getting a commanding win, and you wonder now how much or how important, a better way to put it, how truly important N'Golo Kante was to Leicester City last year. Truly an incredible defensive midfielder he is, and he's the only player who left from the title-winning side. You just wonder at this point Is the magic gone for Leicester City? And all indications at this point are that it is. But it'll be very interesting to see how the Foxes perform in their Champions League debut tomorrow against Club Bruges from Belgium. Now, on Sunday, there was only one game of action, and that was Chelsea going up against Swansea City. The Swans actually held a 2-1 lead after Leroy Fair scored a goal that barely went over the line and came out on top of a one-on-one with Petr Cech. And Gylfi Sigurdsson converted a penalty following a reckless challenge from Thibaut Courtois, who was honestly lucky not to have gotten red carded on that one. But both Chelsea goals came from Diego Costa, who scored the first and last goals of the match, both very powerful strikes. And Costa is in very fine form early on in the season. He will certainly present a lot of problems for Liverpool as they take on Chelsea at Stamford Bridge on Friday. To wrap things up in the Premier League, on Monday, Everton played away to Sunderland at the Stadium of Light, and it was the Romelu Lukaku show. It certainly seems like new manager Ronald Koeman is getting the best out of Lukaku. Lukaku scored a hat-trick. 2 goals with his head, 1 with his left foot. And, Lukaku, it's important to point out that he has scored more goals at his age, 23 years old, than Zlatan Ibrahimovic did, than Wayne Rooney did, even more goals than Cristiano Ronaldo did at that age. So really, the sky truly is the limit for Lukaku. He's been written off by a lot of people because, he went from Everton to Chelsea, then back to Everton. But it is only a matter of time before Lukaku is playing Champions League football. He's way too good not to be. So with that, we're going to take a quick look here at the EPL table. Man City is now the only team that has won all of their games at this point in the season. 4 games in, 12 points out of a possible 12. Chelsea and Everton both have 10 points and actually have the same goal differential as well, interestingly enough. Manchester United has 9 points, Tottenham 8 points, and 3 teams currently have 7 points with Tottenham, Liverpool. Oh, excuse me, hold the phone, literally hold the phone. Tottenham has 8 points, so Tottenham is standing above the 3 teams with 7 points, who are actually Liverpool, Arsenal, and Hull City. Middlesbrough, 5 points, and a logjam of teams with 4 points, just a ton of teams with 4. We have Watford, Crystal Palace, West Brom, Swansea, Bournemouth, Burnley, and Leicester City. Now, the team that is in the last spot above the relegation zone is West Ham with 3 points, and currently in the drop zone, of course, it's early days, but worth pointing out, Southampton, Sunderland, and Stoke have a lot of work to do. Southampton has 2 points, while Sunderland and Stoke each have 1. So no winless teams at this point in the season, no complete disasters in what is the best league in world football. So with that, I bid you farewell until next time and look forward to talking more Premier League football with you.